welcome to the Journeymen Collective podcast. I am Gary Logan of the Journeymen Collective, and my partner slash husband is Robert Grover. Together, we have been guiding visionaries through luxurious plant medicine journeys. We empower executives, entrepreneurs, and professionals to connect deeply into self, to amplify their awareness, and to accelerate their conscious vision for life and business into reality. Today on the Journeymen Collective podcast, we have the honor of speaking with Dr. Josh Goodrum, who is now walking in new shoes, as he mentioned in his first written testimonial after experiencing a journey with the JMC. Thank you for providing us time with you, Josh. In our conversation today, we would like to hear more about your journey with the Journeymen Collective and how it has changed your direction for your life and what impact have you had on the world. Can you provide our listeners with some insight of your background, i.e. life, on where you were before you met the Journeymen Collective?
Oh boy, where to start? When I came and met with you guys, I was in this sort of period of transition. I had been a family medicine doctor for years. I lived on the East Coast of the U.S. in Pennsylvania, and I was at this point of really ready to make a big shift, or ready to be ready anyway. And yeah, we got connected, and having came and met you guys, stuff moved in a very different direction.
Can you tell us about that sort of direction and how it shifted from like, how were you feeling about your lifestyle before you met the Journeymen Collective and came on a journey?
I was done with where I was. I got to this point where I'd done everything I was going to do in that part of the world, and was ready for a shift and ready for a change. And at that point, I had, I was strongly considering the idea of moving to the West Coast. And then after our gathering, our meeting, it became, you guys helped me make it become a reality. One of the biggest way in which that happened was the idea of, really embodying the thing that's wanted. It was an idea to move to the West Coast, and the natural tendency of, can I do it, sort of thing. And I was sure I could, in some form or fashion do it. But the degree to which I did it, I didn't think was possible. And that's really where you guys stepped in. I started looking at different places out here, and there was one particular place that I kind of put up on the wall as like a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like, you'll never get there, but it's good motivation. But I brought it to you guys. Well, what if it's possible? And what if I actually sat and embodied that, the frequency of a space? Yeah, and started to do that, and then it came to fruition. I'm now in an amazing castle, and yeah, I'm here.
Can you say your practice of spirituality was less or more before you came on a journey with the Journeymen Collective?
I think I always had not always, but for quite a while, had a practice of spirituality. But I think what I really took from you guys was there was almost a refinement in it. You and I had an exchange where, well, a lot of that time there was sort of that juvenile kind of inner child thing that was coming up the whole time, and I didn't identify it. Mm-hmm. And you and Rob sort of started to push those buttons and got me to a point, and then you sat me down, and you said to me, "How old are you right now?" And it just cracked something in me. And we went through a whole process, and I released and cried and all the things. And that was the beginning part of the deepest healing I've done in the realm, the general realm of inner child. Looking at and facing the things that happened while I was growing up. And, noticing the programming that came from that. That was the hugest part of that journey, was getting in touch with that aspect of me. And you guys helped wake that up in me.
And so how do you feel now? Do you think the journey's been probably about 4 years ago, approximately?
Has it been that long? I
It's
thought it was
been
in
2019, wasn't it? Something like
19,
that? Yeah.
the
Oh,
summer of 2019, because it was 2020 is when I
yeah.
moved to 3, right?
3 years. Yeah, 3 years. Yeah, I
Go
know.
years, yeah.
Yeah, totally. So do you feel that you're still integrating the material that you've learned and discovered about yourself to this day?
I think there's always this process of evolution that's happening. Right? We're always in some pattern of growth, and I think the question becomes how conscious are we of it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And again, that was the other part from our experience, was me becoming having this other degree of awareness about where I am, where things, I think at that point probably things were happening to me, and it was that our experience where I started to see that things start happening through me. So that was a big shift that
Mm-hmm.
happened.
And now the work that you're doing is almost completely different than you were doing 3 years ago?
It's completely different. I was doing regular office and hospital, nursing homes, all these sort of things. That's actually another amazing part of the journey out here. I had planned on starting with a hospital here, doing regular office work, and a week before I was supposed to start that job, actually move out here and start that job, the job disappeared. For whatever reason, it disappeared. So I said, oh God, no job means no mortgage. I'm in this $1 million property, and no job means no mortgage. What am I going to do? And I think I brought it to you guys, and we talked, and I just left. I just started driving west. I got about halfway across the country, and I get a phone call, and the mortgage went through. I said, they didn't have the job. Somebody signed something and clicked off on something, so it went through. So $1 million mortgage and with no job, which was awesome, great. But now I have $1 million mortgage and no job. What am I going to do? So I get out here and get settled in for a while, and each day just sat and took that lesson of embodying. I didn't know what it was going to be or how it was going to be, but just sat in the presence that things are going to work out the way they need to work out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a month or two later, after having been here, I met a doc who does osteopathic manipulation, which is the thing I've always wanted to do ever since medical school. So as an osteopathic doctor, we have the regular Western medical training and the hands-on healing aspect of things. But lots of docs don't do that part. That was always my favorite part. That's always the thing I wanted to do. And I met the one dude in town who had this huge practice for 25 years or so. And we met and talked, and he said, well, hey, I'm retiring in 4 days. Would you like to basically take over? So then I started and did this practice for the last year or so, of just doing hands-on healing, not so much prescriptions and the regular Western medical thing. And now, actually, I'm in another transition where, for various reasons, that's shifting. So now I'm stepping into another, we talk about, C goals. Mm-hmm. And the work we do. There's another C goal sitting in front of me now that's twice the magnitude of this space I'm in now.
Do you care to share, or is that still?
It's a budding thing, but very, very clearly budding. This space I have here for the last year and a half I've been here. I've done lots of ceremony and retreats, different forms of healing, and all the different realms. And I'm kind of outside of town. I have this big space. It's in the madrones in the woods. It's beautiful. But the idea of bringing this temple, we call the Madrone Temple here, into town, into the center of town, and having a light temple there.
Wow.
And yes, so it'll encompass lots of things, but I sort of think about it, if this is the spiritual hospital, that'll be the spiritual office.
Beautiful.
And I'm teamed up in a wonderful creation ship with a person here who's we're combining our forces and moving into this amazing energy, and it's gonna require some similar magic that got me out here. Mm-hmm. One thing happens one time, it can happen again. Why not? It's all part of the same thing. So yeah, we maybe or
say that again, Josh.
We may be talking more in the future. Have you guys help walk me through this next giant leap I'm wanting to take?
So looking back at where you were 3 years ago into where you are now is like, it has flipped completely. Your whole lifestyle of being and who you are and how you present yourself to the world. How are you in contact with any of your family and friends from the past who have noticed this accelerated change in your lifestyle and being and your personality? Is there a comparison, or can we not compare and just say that was then and this is now?
Yeah, there's definitely a that was then, this is now sort of thing. My path in life has always been leaning into that growth edge. But the shift, yeah, it's definitely more. And people see me how they see me, and I'm viewed however I'm viewed by them. But yeah, in meeting with you guys, the shift has been hugely internal, and then it's reflecting in my external as well. But I've always been awesome. You guys just helped me become double, triple, quadruple awesome is all.
We haven't sent you the bill for that one yet, have we?
Oh, wait, no, I'm ready.
So this is great. It's very exciting. We are so happy for you. You're like part of our, as we say, we're the collective. And the collective is not just Rob and Gary. It's a collective of all the people that we've had come through our doors to work with us through a journey process. When maybe this person, when you talk about us, we hope you do, how do you explain what you went through on a journey if you were sharing your experience with somebody else? How would our listeners try to understand what your journey experience was?
Well, I think, everybody's journey is certainly going to be unique. But I think the quality of it that spoke the most to me is the sort of the balancing of the energies that you and Rob hold. There's definitely this yin and yang, and you guys do this dance.
But no dancing. Energetic dance, definitely. For sure.
Yeah, this energetic dance that you really you act like mirrors for people and guide people back into where they need to see. Mirrors and lights into the shadow of what's not seen inside them. Like you showed me something that was in me, but I wasn't even aware that was in me.
Right.
And that was that whole weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you guys' ability to help people get to that space. And so there's in osteopathic medicine, osteopathic manipulation, there's this idea of the key lesion. There's always a certain area in the body that's holding the whole system together. And when you unlock that key lesion, everything kind of falls into place.
Right.
And it's sort of a psycho-emotional, energetic realm where you guys, I think you're able to sense into the key lesion of people in a sense. And it's not bad or wrong that it's there, but I think lots of people may not be aware that it's there.
Right.
So then, and then too, once that awareness comes, you guys are still there. That lots of plant medicine practitioners, they may blow somebody's mind and give them a whole bunch of medicine and whatever, but who cares? You can go see the spirits and the lights and whatever, but how do I integrate it? What do I do to pull that into me? Yeah. And you're to continue to meet people who are willing to continue to meet you is potent and powerful. And that's why we're dear friends and still connected, I think, because you help me see in me, which helps me unlock things in me, and you see the growth that I want to move forward, which you guys want to reciprocate back to me, and becomes this perpetuating cycle of positive growth factors that happen.
Brilliant.
Uh-huh.
So look, from what I understand, that you went on a number, let's say journeys, we'll call them, including ayahuasca, before you came on a journey with the Journeymen Collective. Is there a comparison, or is just like it's night and day, our experience that we provide compared to the experience of ayahuasca? I know two different medicines, but how we operate or how we facilitate is unique and individual, and nobody else in the world does it the way we do it. And we'll stand strong in that statement. Would you advise to our listeners? I know it's all comes down to choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's medicine meets you where you are.
Yes.
And then I think the facilitators help you from there. Right. So, and again, it's the difference between reaching down and pulling someone up versus offering a hand and someone
right
up versus total ignoring.
Yeah.
Right. So, yes, it's the facilitation and the integration element that in all my medicine experience, that's always the most important thing. And I think just in general. Medicine is a medicine. It opens the door, and then you go in the room. Then, so what? What do I do with that? Right? And if I want to grow and expand to a higher degree, then I got to have somebody a step ahead of me, or at least beside me, walking along that path of growth. And that's the power with y'all's ability to help integrate and facilitate all the stuff that comes up during these things, because it evokes all manner of deep things. Up all this stuff, and then what do you do with it? And you guys know. and what you don't do anything for anyone. You help me.
Yes.
And that's the most potent thing. That's the most potent gift you can give somebody, is giving them the tools and resources in order to help themselves. And then with putting the hand out as opposed to reaching down. And then we do that for each other.
Yes. Yes. Brilliant. This is great. Any sort of words of advice to listeners on if they're considering embarking on a plant medicine journey? What would you say to somebody if they were considering it? What would be holding somebody back?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, if I really believe, for serious medicine work, like people who are going for transformative type things, you get called. There's this internal call that happens. And I think sometimes if an internal call comes and it's not familiar, we say, oh, what do we do with that? But just talk with you guys for 5 minutes and you're going to be held. Fear, right? That's the biggest thing. Anytime people talk about plant medicine journeys, there's all manner of societal stuff that goes along with that. This is your brain on drugs, kind of thing. If you trip, you go crazy. All this kind of people. And that's another huge element is the ability to help people feel safe, because it's fucking scary to go into these dark places. And it's dark places. It's not bad or wrong. It's not in the realm of malevolent or evil, but there's just stuff that's in us. But if I feel safe to walk into the dark room, right, and somebody's got a flashlight for me and is letting me walk, but at the same time, like, I got your back, then it's we're allowed to go into those deep spaces and sit and process and see what needs saw. That's another potent element. Your ability to help folks really feel safe when these powerful things come up. And you do that, because you've gone in and looked at your own stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't help somebody through garbage unless you've been into your own garbage.
Unless you've been through your old shit.
And then holding it and embodying it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
You guys are already embodying the frequency of. And then that's the thing for change, right? Is to embody the frequency. I couldn't move across the country into a space that was never humanly possible for me. It was my old concept until I started to embody the idea of it, really be it inside me. I had this, I'll hold on to this pattern. I'll keep this addiction. I'll continue along these unserving paths. I'll keep. You're just a couple. I got to keep them. You got to. If you're gonna go full in, you go full in.
Yeah. There's no bartering. It's like, I'm going to barter with myself. I think I like this about me, but I don't like this. So I can let that go, but I'll keep that. That's the fair trade-off. It's not, because in the end, you should have let it all go anyway to begin with. I know some people need a like baby steps to get there, and we understand that. And we don't want you to dump it all out if you're not ready. But as you said, we create an environment that we care, and we're there for you all the way. Even now, like how many years, the 3 years, we still are there for you, and you were there for us. We've created this natural bond of connectiveness that will be there forever, and it constantly growing and growing and nurturing. So it's like, leave the baggage on the side of the curb, let the dump truck come and pick it up and take it away. Don't go running down the road to pick the garbage that you want back out, because once it's in the dumpster, it's gone. And it's okay. There is a grieving period of letting go of old habits that we need to acknowledge. You have to grieve. It's a release, and you created, as you said, this space within that you can step into what you want to be and how you're going to be in the world.
Mm-hmm. Thich Nhat Hanh, probably my original spiritual teacher, he said, people have a hard time letting go of their suffering. Out of fear of the unknown, they prefer suffering that is familiar to them.
So true. Robert and I discussed this morning at breakfast about how some clients, want to hold on to that suffering because they think they need to. And it's like a badge of honor. I'm going to carry this for the rest of my life. And it's like, but it's not serving you. It's stopping your growth as a human and experiencing life. But I think you need to hold on to this. The best thing is to that energy that you're holding on to wants to be released and let go.
Mm-hmm. I think it's familiar.
Yeah.
Familiarity. Like, it's, even though it sucks, I'm used to it. And then I think that goes all the way into survival.
Yeah.
If I'm suffering every day, then at least I know I'm alive.
Yeah.
But it's something, and that's the thing, that the human mechanism, it craves certainty. It wants to know where its shelter is, where its food is, where the predators are. It wants to definitely know that. So when things shift and change, that always evokes fear, because it's different than what we're used to. So again, that setting the container of safety and knowing that you're held, even though it's gonna suck, when you set the container in a certain way, then it just, what needs to happen just happens.
Yes.
I've that same principle here to this temple here. When I hold things here in ceremony and events, I took that, like, create that energetic container. I saw in the journey clearly at one point, Rob setting up these energetic grids in this space. I saw the grids happening, and I do that, and I took that, and I do the same thing when events and things are happening here. I go through and I set up this container, this energetic, and people come and they feel safe. Right. And they feel, and when whatever practitioners here doing what they're doing, it just amplifies and becomes even more awesome. I took that directly from our experience. And it's so there's still these elements that I have integrated and continue to use, and then there's always still lessons that come up from it all.
Mm-hmm. This was amazing. You are amazing. We are so glad that you are in our life. Thank you for sharing your deep insights about the journey with the Journeymen Collective. And is there a website that you've created for your space, or is it just local word of mouth is how you are promoting your your center?
Local word of mouth now, and very, very soon there'll be a more public unleashing of it all.
Unveiling, so, perfect.
Unveiling, yeah, there you go.
Well, we look forward to that, and I will put that information on our website eventually when you're ready to release it to the world. Thanks again, Josh. This was beautiful. Thank you for your time. To find out more about the Journeymen Collective and to hear more testimonials, please visit our website, www.thejourneymencollective.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram, The Journeymen Collective. Thank you, listeners, and thank you, Josh. Much love.
Love you, brother.